Hello, and today we'll be discussing the comparative anatomy of Radius and Arla with that of different species. So, as you already know, we have already discussed this Radius and Arla of ox. So, today we'll compare this with that of sheep, goat, horse, then dog, and poultry. So, this thing we have already discussed. Let us see some of the differences with the other species. If you talk about this Radius and Arla, first we'll discuss the radius. So there are not much of the differences between this radius and of ox and that of sheep and goat. They are almost the same. So you can find the radius is this, ulna this, then two interversal spaces, and this notch, then hologram process, and stellate process of ulna. So this almost same to that of this radius is same to that of ox. So but if you talk that about horse, so this is the radius and ulna of horse. If you can see, so this bone is the radius bone and this bone is the ulna bone. So ulna, if you see that this is the aborted bone basically. So ulna is not developed up to the distal extremity, so it has stopped developing from here. So you can classify this bone, ulna, this bone as a aborted bone. And if you see, because of the presence of only the upper part of ulna, you can see only a single interosseous space. While in case of sheep, goat, and in case of ox, there are two interosseous spaces between ulna and radius. While in between these two, there is a single interosseous space because the ulna has not reached till the distal extremity. Then, if you look out the tuberosity, so what we discussed here yesterday, this is called as a radial tuberosity. This is at the craniomedial aspect, and if you compare this with that of ox, this is much developed in case of horse as compared to that of ox. So the radial tuberosity is much developed and interosseous space is single one. Then if you look out the distal extremity, so these are the articular facets, and with these articular facets the proximal row of the carpus will articulate, and it is straighter. It is straighter as compared to that of ox, where it is somewhat oblique. And usually for ulnar carpal, there should be have been the ulna that should furnish the part of the ulnar articular facet for the ulnar carpal, but the ulna has not reached here. So the ulnar intermediate and the radial facetus for the carpus is wholly and solely applied, wholly and solely provided by this radius. So if you look out, this is of dog. Look out dog. So this is the radius and ulna of the dog, and usually the radius and ulna of the, there is a single interosseous space. So single interosseous space, because this type of bones, these two bones show the process of pronation and the supination. That means these two bones show the movement with each other. While in case of these species, be it horse, be it sheep, goat, or be it ox, the type of joint here between the radius and ulna is synorthosis type of joint. So fibrous type of the joint, and with the result, the process of pronation and the supination is absent in case of these species. While in case of dog, cat, and in humans, you will find the process of pronation and supination between these two bones. And with the result, there is a single interosseous space between these two bones. And if you look out the radius, and you will have the distal extremity with the radius. There is a one process what you call as the stellate process of the radius. That is a typical feature. So this is the stellate process of the radius in case of dog. That is a typical feature in case of the radius of the dog. And if you look out the ulna, basically, so this is the ulna of dog, and this is the olecranon process. And if you look out here, olecranon process itself divided into three small processes. Shows separately. So if you take out separately ulna here, so ulna is basically the olecranon process is divided into three processes. One is this one is two small, one this, and third one here. So the olecranon process is divided into three small process. One is this, and one is this. This is the typical feature in case of the dog. Among the three, the caudal process is bigger among the three. So this is the separate ulna of the dog. You will have the semilunar notch, you have the Anconis process, you have the whole as olecranon process, and plus you will find here a concave facet, a concave articular facet. This concave articular facet is for the radius. Here the radius will articulate, so we have a separate radius here, so radius will articulate like this here. So this is how the radius will articulate. So for this articulation there should be a one facet here, just below the semilunar notch. So these are the two separate radius and ulna of this is the ulna of dog, and this is the radius of dog. These are radius and ulna together. This is radius and ulna of the dog. And if you look out this is in case of the poultry. So this is the humerus, and this is radius. Basically, how to identify between the, because one will be the radius, one will be the ulna. How to identify between these two bones, which one is radius? Radius is cylindrical as compared to that of the ulna. So this is the radius in case of poultry, this is the ulna, this is the humerus, and usually at the one end this radius will articulate with the articular area of humerus. At the other end, so this will be the proximal end, this will be the distal end, and the distal end it will be articulating with the radial carpal here. So here will be the radial carpal. So this is about the comparative anatomies. There are some of the differences between the species, while you can find the aborted bone, single interosseous space in case of dog, while you can find the single interosseous space, but the both bones are well developed in case of dog. In case of horse, there is a single interosseous space, aborted bone. In case of sheep, goat, it is similar to that of ox. And in case of the dog, the olecranon process is itself divided about three small areas. The caudal one is bigger, and in case of the poultry, the cylindrical bone is the radius, and the larger bone here is the ulna. While in these species, the larger one is the radius, and the modified or aborted or the thinner one is the ulna. Thank you.